Up next on Valley News Live at 10, we tag along with someone who got a COVID vaccine so you know what it will be like.
Plus, when only the real deal will do, how to spot a fake mask.
Plus, the outlook is still hazy, but some lawmakers are trying to change the marijuana laws in Minnesota. Valley News Live at 10 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 10.
New tonight at 10, we begin with the story that's targeted for those of us who have not had a COVID-19 shot yet. We're getting an inside look at a new vaccine clinic, this one in Moorhead.
Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie is taking you through the process step by step.
You can take Tylenol and ibuprofen for that.
Irene Gooding is getting her second dose of the Pfizer shot at Moorhead Center Mall's new vaccine clinic.
I got worried about that. If I ever get it, I'll have trouble.
She's just one of the 324 patients rolling up their sleeves Wednesday.
I'm much more relaxed and not so anxious anymore.
The clinic opened last week. Sarah Nygaard and her team have been prepping for it since October. She helps people like Irene through the process.
We send out invites to our patients that are chosen based on their acuity level and different diagnoses and the different high-risk levels.
Do you want your right or your left arm?
They are given an invite and then we call them to schedule and then we bring them on in and get them vaccinated.
It looks the same in all clinics, pharmacies, and hospitals. Sanford will reach out to you first, then you'll have to make an appointment. The rest is easy. Getting your vaccine only takes a few minutes.
It goes really fast and smooth. Everything's worked out good.
When you walk in, a nurse will give you information about the vaccine. You'll get registered and wait in line to get your shot at one of the 4 stations. The longest part of the process is the 15-minute waiting period afterward to check for symptoms.
We have the hands to do it and we have the arms that people want it, but it's just waiting on the vaccine.
For now, the clinic is open once a week. Vaccine shipments rotate between the clinic, pharmacies, and public health. In Moorhead, Courtney Lockie, Valley News Live.
For more information on how and when you can receive the vaccine, visit our website or download the VNL News app. You can find this story on our homepage.
To stay on top of the latest vaccine news, browse through our VNL vaccine tracker. Just open your phone camera and point it at the QR code on your screen and then tap the link that pops up. We also have the link on our homepage. It appears the COVID vaccines are protecting people against some variants of the coronavirus, including the one first reported in South Africa. Researchers genetically created versions of the virus and studied them against blood samples from people who had already received both doses of the Pfizer vaccine. Although the blood samples with variants had less antibody activity, the virus was still neutralized. In a separate study, Moderna's vaccine also worked effectively against variants.
The COVID-19 variant first identified in the United Kingdom has been confirmed in 2 North Dakotans. The CDC says that strain could become the dominant strain in the United States by next month. Another report shows that happened in a country in Africa. Health officials say the possibility of a similar experience in the U.S. is a real threat, but it's not inevitable. They urge people to stay vigilant and get vaccinated so the variants don't spread.
A day before the Fargo mask mandate was set to expire, the city extended it for another month. It's now in place until March 22nd. It was extended for a number of reasons. A letter of recommendation to extend the mandate was provided by Fargo Cass Public Health, citing that most of the school teachers in the area have not been vaccinated. They say vaccination rates in general in Cass County continue to remain low, and at least 75% of businesses in the area say they support the extension. West Fargo's mask strategy has been extended as well. It's in place until May 3rd. Businesses are strongly encouraged to limit capacity to 65% or 200 people maximum. There's no penalty for not following the mandate.
Federal agents have seized roughly 10 million fake N95 masks in recent weeks. It's the result of an ongoing investigation into counterfeits sold in at least 5 states to hospitals, medical facilities, and government agencies. The most recent seizure happened today when Homeland Security agents intercepted 13 of hundreds of thousands of counterfeit 3M masks in an East Coast warehouse. How can you tell if a mask is real or fake? Well, there are a few things that you can look for. First, it must be authorized by the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health. The mask has markings for their approval. It also needs to at least filter 95% of airborne particles. Now, if you're buying a mask online, there are some other things to look for. Search for typos, bad grammar, or errors on the website. Check reviews of the product and the seller. Remember that if the price sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And legitimate companies generally won't tell buyers that products are real or genuine.
Nursing home residents in North Dakota can now always have one visitor, regardless of the state of emergency. The North Dakota State Senate unanimously passed the bill today that will allow long-term care residents to have one designated caregiver. That person can, but doesn't have to be, a member of the resident's family. The caregiver can meet in person and offer health, emotional, or spiritual support.
We were doing the right thing to try to protect these uniquely vulnerable citizens. However, I would posit that the isolation that they have endured is equally brutal.
More than 60% of COVID cases and more than 90% of COVID deaths in North Dakota have been in people over age 60.
Moorhead High School students will soon be heading back to the classroom. The district superintendent tells us high schoolers will be brought back in person full-time on March 8th. Pre-K through 8th graders are already learning in person. This comes after Governor Tim Walz announced the update to the state's Safe Learning Plan today, saying all students can return starting Monday.
Vice President Kamala Harris is weighing in today on the priority of quickly and safely reopening schools, while President Biden is setting an ambitious timetable for vaccine distribution.
The president also is predicting when Americans might expect life to return to normal. Reporter Alice Barr has the very latest from Washington, D.C.
The Biden White House zeroing in on two issues that are central to getting life back to normal: reopening schools and producing enough vaccine for everyone who wants one.
By the end of July, we'll have over 600 million doses, enough to vaccinate every single American.
President Biden speaking at a CNN town hall overnight. His administration now says the general public may not have access to COVID shots until late May or June instead of April. They're defending efforts to increase supply, sending more than double the doses to states since Inauguration Day.
The data shows that we're making progress.
Vice President Kamala Harris on the Today Show this morning emphasizing the need to vaccinate teachers to help reopen schools safely.
I believe they should be a priority. The president believes they should be a priority.
The administration also clarifying its guidance after top officials said the goal was to reopen most schools at least one day a week.
I said opening the majority of schools in K through 8th grade.
Our goal is that it will be 5 days a week.
The president pushing his nearly $2 trillion COVID relief bill to pay for it all.
In order to do everything from open schools as we should, to make sure that we're generating income for people who are in real trouble, it's about how much it costs. The federal government has to chip in.
A race to get ahead of the virus to protect all Americans. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
President Biden is also predicting that the country will be nearing a return to normal by Christmas, although he said he didn't want to overpromise with so much unknown.
Fargo police are looking for two suspects this evening. The first is this person wearing a baseball cap and a jacket. He may be involved in a theft case.
They're also looking for this person. Police say he or she failed to remain at the scene of an accident. If you've seen either of these people or know who they are, you can text Fargo PD and your tip to 847-411. We also have these photos and the reference numbers on our website, valleynewslive.com. Just go there and click on this story. Keep an eye out for a man who was caught on camera trying to break into someone's vehicle and another person's garage. It happened Monday night just before 11 in the Cobblestone Court area. That's just off of 17th Avenue South in Fargo.
Come on, people. Get a job. There are jobs out there. Get one.
Police say this is the perfect example of the value of locking up your belongings as well as calling officers even when the suspects don't get in. Reports help keep track of criminal activity and could help break another case.
The investigation continues into a West Fargo teacher who resigned nearly 2 weeks ago. No charges have been filed against Ron Thompson. Police have said the case is not tied to his position or students. Police served a search warrant on his property on February 2nd, which is the same day he turned in a letter of resignation.
Rush Limbaugh was a pioneer of AM talk radio. The conservative talk radio host passed away today at the age of 70. He had been battling stage 4 lung cancer since early 2020. Limbaugh hosted his nationally syndicated program for 32 years. His show was like the Big Bang of the conservative media universe. It helped popularize the political talk radio format and usher in a generation of conservative infotainment.
Still ahead tonight, the latest on student debt relief. Plus, President Biden's plan to make college free for certain families.
But first, I'm told another day in the 30s has been added to the forecast. Hutch tells us what's ahead when Valley News Live at 10 continues.